Hi, students, welcome to this session 7 on chapter 2, electric potential and capacitance. In this class, we will learn about the capacitance of a conductor, capacitance of a spherical conductor, principle of a capacitor, expression for capacitance of a parallel plate capacitor, and expression for capacitance of a parallel plate capacitor filled with dielectric medium. So, shall we go to the first concept, that is capacitance of a conductor. Now, to start with, dear students, listen. Say for example, you have a heap of bricks with you. Now, that heap of bricks, you just take one by one and pile it up. Say for example, you are taking the heap of bricks and you are piling it one by one. ಒಂದರ ಮೇಲೆ ಒಂದು ಬ್ರಿಕ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನು ಜೋಡಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀರಾ ಅಂತ ಅನ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ಯು ಆರ್ ಜಸ್ಟ್ piling the bricks. So what is happening as you increase the number of bricks? The height is increasing. Yes or no? The height is increasing. As you increase the number of bricks, the height is increasing. Similarly, consider a conductor. Remember, consider a conductor, any conductor of any shape. Say for example, this is a conductor. Now do one thing, add a charge on it. Add, say for example, a charge on it, one positive charge. If you add a charge on it, what happens to its potential? The potential will increase. Say for example, the charge Q and the potential is V. If you add one charge, 1 coulomb charge, say there is a potential of 1 volt. I am just saying, this is just an example. Suppose if you add one more charge, so that means one more positive charge, that means charge is say 2 coulomb, potential is say 2 volt, it is say, and again one more charge increases, potential also increases, one more charge, one more charge, one more charge. So what is happening? As you add the charges on the conductor, the potential of the conductor increases. So what I mean here is only this: the potential of a conductor, say V, is directly proportional to the charge on it. V is proportional to Q. Can also we write that Q is proportional to V? Yes, no doubt, Q is proportional to V. What is the meaning there? The charge, if the charge increases, the potential increases. If the charge on the conductor increases, the potential increases. Now Q is proportional to V. Now remove this proportionality sign and you can now write Q is equal to C into V. Q is equal to C into V. So this is the equation we get, and see that suppose this C, that C is a constant of proportionality, and the name given to that constant of proportionality is the capacitance of a conductor. Therefore we can now write C, which is equal to Q divided by V. C is equal to Q divided by V. This is the capacitance of a conductor. Remember, capacitance of a conductor. So what is capacitance of a conductor? Very simple. It is defined as the ratio of the charge on the conductor to its potential. The ratio of the charge on the conductor to its potential is called capacitance of a conductor. Now capacitance of a conductor, the unit, what is the unit? Charge Q is coulomb and potential is volt. Okay, so coulomb, volt. So coulomb per volt is the unit, and that unit we call it as farad. So coulomb per volt is the unit of potential, sorry, it is the unit of capacitance, and that coulomb per volt togetherly we call it as farad. So I repeat again, very simple. If you increase the charge on the conductor, the potential will increase. So Q is proportional to V, and Q is equal to C into V, and C is equal to Q divided by V. Therefore see, the capacitance is equal to the ratio of the charge on the conductor to the potential on the conductor. C is equal to Q divided by V. This is one thing. So now capacitance of a spherical conductor. Now coming to this capacitance of a spherical conductor, consider a sphere. Say here is a sphere, this is a sphere, and the radius of this sphere is say r, and this is charged, and it is charged say positively. The charge is positively charged, and the charge on it is say for example q. Q is the charge on it. Q is the charge on it. So consider a sphere of radius r. Consider a sphere of radius r with positive charges, and the charge on it is say q. Now we know that what is the equation for the potential of the sphere? Potential of the sphere. The potential of the sphere is equal to, the potential of the sphere V is equal to, what is V is equal to 1 divided by 4 pi epsilon naught charge q divided by radius. If you remember this, V is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught q divided by r. Now just rearrange this equation, just write this q divided by V is equal to, from the same equation q divided by V is equal to, you will get 4 pi epsilon naught r. 4 pi epsilon naught r. What is q by V? In the previous thing we have learnt, q by V is nothing but capacitance. So therefore q by V is equal to the capacitance, and therefore C is equal to 4 pi epsilon naught r. C is equal to 4 pi epsilon naught r. This is the equation for the capacitance of a spherical conductor. Remember, C is equal to 4 pi epsilon naught r is the equation for the capacitance of a spherical conductor. What is that you have to understand from this one? C is the capacitance, r is the radius. I'll write this as capital R. R is the radius. Therefore, the capacitance of a spherical conductor depends on the radius, which means it depends on the size of the conductor. It depends on the size of the conductor. In fact, it also depends on the shape of the conductor. It also depends on the nearby conductors. Suppose if there is any other conductor nearby, it also depends on that. So therefore, remember these things. The capacitance of a spherical conductor is given by the equation C is equal to 4 pi epsilon naught r, and the capacitance depends on size and shape of the conductor. I'll write here capacitance C depends on point A, size and shape of the conductor. Second one, it depends on the nearby conductors. Suppose, say if there are any conductors surrounding the given conductor, the capacitance also depends on the nearby conductors. This point you will definitely understand in the next topic. It also depends on the dielectric medium surrounding the conductor. Okay, so these are the things, and it depends on size and shape. You know that C is equal to 4 pi epsilon naught r, that is in fact capital R, that capital R should be included, not the small r. Small r is not there. Okay, small r is not there. 4 pi epsilon naught r, and it depends on the size and shape of the conductor. Second one, it depends on the nearby conductors. If there are any conductors present nearby, it also depends. You will understand the last 2 points, that is B and C, in the next concept. You will understand. So this is the capacitance of a spherical conductor. Again, C is equal to Q by V. Now you have got two equations. C is equal to Q by V. C is also equal to 4 pi epsilon naught r. This is for a conductor. So after learning this, students will move on to the next very important concept, that is the principle of a capacitor. So now we have to come across this concept known as capacitor. Why this capacitor is required? First of all, what is capacitor, why capacitor is required, all these things we will learn in detail now. So now just listen, we have just learned that in the case of a spherical conductor, the capacitance is given by C is equal to 4 pi epsilon naught R. Observe this, C is equal to 4 pi epsilon naught capital R. So here if I wish to have a conductor whose capacity is 1 farad, that means if C is equal to 1 farad, if C is equal to 1 farad, then R is equal to C divided by 4 pi epsilon naught, you will get. R is equal to C divided by 4 pi epsilon naught, and that is equal to 1 divided by 4 pi epsilon naught, because C we have taken it as 1 farad. So R is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught. What is 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught? It is 9 into 10 to the power 9 R in meters. So which means to have a conductor, spherical conductor of capacity 1 farad, we need its size or radius to be equal to 9 into 10 to the power 9 meters. So just imagine that number, 9 into 10 to the power 9 meters, that means R is equal to 9 into 10 to the power 6 kilometers. That means 9 million kilometers. 9 million kilometers. What is the radius of the earth? Radius of the earth itself is 6,400 kilometers. That is 9 million kilometers. What is required here is 9 million means 6 zeros. 6 zeros. Now notice that we require the conductor whose radius is 9 million kilometers, whereas the size of the earth itself is 6,400 kilometers, which means 6,400, almost more than 1,000 times the size of the earth. We require a conductor, huge conductor, which is 1,000 times greater than that of the earth, to have a conductor of capacity 1 farad. That means that 1 farad capacity is too large, that is one thing, and conductor is not a suitable device. Conductor is not a suitable device to store the charges. Therefore, we need a capacitor. So now, why we need a capacitor? I'll briefly tell you again. Suppose if you choose a conductor, if you want to store the charge, if the capacity of the conductor is to be 1 farad, just 1 farad, then its size should be more than 1,000 times that of the earth, which is quite impossible to construct to have such a conductor. Therefore, we go for capacitor. So what is capacitor and what is the principle on which the capacitor works? Why the capacitor is mainly used for? All these things we will learn. Capacitor is a device which is used to store electrical energy, which is used to store charges. So capacitor is a device used to store electrical energy, which is used to store lot many charges, and that is the suitable device instead of conductor. So we will see how the capacitor works instead of a conductor. Now just imagine a conductor, just one conductor. This is one conductor, say. We will name this conductor as A. We will name this conductor as A. Okay. Now, say for example, the conductor A is positively charged. Conductor A is positively charged. So, charge and potential. Say the charge, 5 charges are there, for example, and potential is 5, capacity is 1, because C is equal to Q by V. So I have a conductor, this is a conductor of rectangular shape, and there are say 5 charges on it, 5 units of charges, and therefore 5 units of potential, and therefore capacity is 1 unit, whatever the units are. So that is one thing. So if I want to increase the capacity here, what I am supposed to do? I have to add the charges. If I have add the charges, the potential also increases, and therefore capacity is 1 only. Capacity cannot increase now. If I increase the charge, potential will increase, capacity remains constant. If I increase the charge, remember, potential will increase proportionately, and therefore the capacity remains constant. Instead of that, I'll do one thing. Now I'll bring another conductor. Now I'll bring, say for example, another identical conductor. I'll bring the another identical conductor of same size and shape. I'll call this as B. And now if I bring another conductor very near A but not in contact, very near A, due to that mutual attraction, induction, we have learnt in that first chapter, see that the negative charges present here will come here. The negative charges will come here. The negative charges present in the conductor B will come to the side because they get attracted here, and the positive charges will stay back here. The positive charges will stay back here. So see what is happening here. You just brought another identical conductor B in front of A, and see that because of bringing them, because of mutual attraction and repulsion, the charges in the conductor B gets segregated. The negative charges are thrown to the plate A, or thrown towards the plate A, and the positive charges are away from the plate A. So mutual attraction and repulsion. Now what happens? The negative charges present here, tries to reduce the potential. Positive charges present here, positive charges present on B tries to increase the potential because they try to repel away, and therefore they try to increase the potential. Negative charges tries to decrease the potential. They just tends to they just tend to neutralize with the charges on A. The negative charges present on the conductor B will have the tendency to recombine with the positive charges on the plate A, and because of the tendency to recombine, the potential will decrease, the charge will decrease, and therefore the charge have the tendency to decrease, tendency to reduce the potential. So the potential will decrease, whereas the positive charges present on the conductor B tends to increase the potential, So there is a fight between the negative charges and the positive charges present on the plate B, conductor B. I say plate and also the conductor. So in this fight, negative charges will win. Why the negative charges will win? Negative charges has the tendency to decrease the potential. Positive charges has the tendency to increase the potential. Negative charges are closer to the positive charges present on the plate A rather than the positive charges on the conductor B. Negative charges are closer, positive charges are far away. Therefore the effect of negative charges present on the conductor B is much effective or much better than the positive charges. Therefore there will be a grand reduction in the potential of the plate A. There will be a reduction in the potential of the plate A, but the charges will be the same. Say for example, charges remain 5 only and the potential reduces to 2.5. Now what happens? Q divided by V, 5 divided by 2.5, the capacity increases to 2. Got it? The capacity increases to 2. So that means by just bringing another identical conductor B in front of the conductor A, the potential got reduced. And the charge remains same. Charge on the plate A is 5 only. whereas the potential of the plate A is decreased by bringing the another identical conductor, and it reduces, say it reduces to 2.5. Now the capacity is Q divided by V. Capacity is 5 divided by 2.5. Now it is 2. Now we'll do one more thing. Now just try to neutralize this. Connect this to the earth. When you connect this to the earth, what will happen? The electrons will flow from the earth. The electrons will flow from the earth, and the electrons will neutralize all the positive charges. The electrons will neutralize all the positive charges. So what happens now? Because of grounding the conductor B, electrons flow from the earth to the conductor B and neutralizes all the positive charges. Now the effect of positive charges, which was increasing the potential, is being reduced. The potential is now will not increase. Now there is only reduction in the potential. Effect of only negative charge is there. Therefore charge remains same, 5 only. Charge remains same, 5 only, and the potential is still reduced. Potential, say, becomes 1.2, 1.25 volt. So now the capacity increases to what? 4. Capacity increases to 4 times. So listen, we just brought one conductor B, which is identical in size and shape to the conductor A, very near to it. Potential decreases, capacity increases. Now we grounded it, again the potential decreases, the capacity increases. Now we can do one more thing. What is that? In between this gap, what is the gap? There is a gap between the two plates of the capacitor, you know, this gap. Fill this gap with a dielectric material. If you fill the gap with a dielectric material, so notice that the dielectric material also reduces the electric field, it reduces the potential, it reduces the electric field, it reduces the potential. Yesterday I have told you very clearly, suppose if you apply the dielectric material in the presence of the electric field, there will be applied field, there will be induced field, the net electric field intensity decreases. Electric field decreases, potential also decreases, because E is equal to V by D. You know that E is equal to V divided by D, or dV by dx. This you know. If the electric field decreases, potential also decreases. If the potential decreases, see that charge remains same, 5 only, and the potential now decreases. Now it becomes 0.6. 0.6 for example 0.625. 0.625. So 5 divided by 0.625 is what? 8. So now the capacity was 1 initially. Now the capacity has been increased how many times? 8 times. Now this entire setup we call it as a capacitor. So what is a capacitor? Now a capacitor consists of two identical conductors separated by a small gap. One of them is positively charged and the other one is grounded, and the medium between the two plates may be filled with the dielectric material. If you want more capacity, you can fill the dielectric material of higher dielectric constant. If you want, say for example, more capacity, just fill that with higher dielectric material of higher dielectric constant, you will have more capacity. So therefore, now unlike the conductor, in the case of conductor there was a limitation. We cannot hold many charges. Now whereas in capacitor we can increase the charge storing ability and therefore energy storing ability, and therefore we use capacitor instead of conductor. Because see, I have told you that if you want to have a conductor whose capacity is 1 farad, then you need to have a conductor whose size is 1000 times more than that of the earth, which is impossible. Whereas we can get that capacity in the capacitor, but anyway 1 farad is too huge number otherwise also. So this is the principle of capacitor. So now you know what is capacitor. Now I told you, if you remember the previous point, this one, come here. See, it depends, capacitance depends on the size and shape of the conductor. Nearby conductors, what is that nearby conductor? The other conductor B which I brought it, that depends. So if I had not brought that conductor, then the capacity of the conductor A would have remained 1 only. Because of bringing another identical conductor B near A, the capacity got increased by 2 times. And by filling the dielectric material, again the capacity got increased by another 2 times, double. So therefore the capacity of the conductor or the capacitor depends on size and shape of the conductor. Now coming back to this concept here also, the capacitance of the capacitor C is equal to, remember here now we are speaking about capacitor, not conductor. Capacitance of the capacitor is equal to, same definition, C is equal to Q divided by V, where Q is the magnitude of charge on one plate, on any one plate of the capacitor. Because see that if you just have 5 charges here, you will have 5 negative charges on the plate B. So therefore that is one thing. C is equal to Q divided by V, and Q is the magnitude of charge on any one plate of the capacitor, on any one conductor of the capacitor, and V is the potential difference between the 2 plates. V is the potential difference between the 2 plates, 2 conductors A and B. This is C is equal to Q divided by V. And farad, please remember, farad is the SI unit of capacitance of the capacitor or capacitance of the conductor, farad. 1 farad is equal to 1 coulomb per volt. That means if 1 coulomb of charge is added to the conductor, if the potential increases by 1 volt, then the capacitance of that conductor is said to be 1 farad. Or in the case of capacitor, if 1 coulomb of charge is given to the capacitor, if the potential difference increases by 1 volt, then the capacitance of the capacitor is said to be 1 farad. I repeat again, 1 farad, we can define 1 farad in the case of conductor, we can define 1 farad in the case of capacitor. 1 farad in the case of conductor, if you consider, so conductor C is equal to Q by V, where Q is the charge on the conductor, V is the potential of the conductor. In the case of capacitor, C is again equal to Q divided by V. What is the difference? Here Q is the magnitude of charge on one plate of the capacitor, V is the potential difference. Here we have only one conductor, therefore Q is the charge on the conductor, V is the potential of the conductor. Here V is the potential difference between the 2 conductors A and B, 2 plates of the capacitor. C is equal to Q by V. This is the capacitance, and here also capacitance of a capacitor depends on size and shape. It depends on the size and shape. It depends on the gap between the 2 plates of the capacitor. It also depends on the medium in which the plates are, medium between the 2 plates of the capacitor, So this is the principle of the capacitor, and I have told you many things here. So remember all these things, it is quite important. Now we'll move on to the next topic. Expression for capacitance of a parallel plate capacitor. See, we have to learn 2 more things: expression for capacitance of a parallel plate capacitor and expression for capacitance of a parallel plate capacitor with dielectric medium. These 2 things, and we will stop this class. Dear students, this is an important derivation. Listen, this is an important derivation. Sometimes it will be asked for 3 marks, sometimes it will be asked for 5 marks. 5 marks with a question tag, and 3 marks just the equation. Expression for capacitance of a parallel plate capacitor, a very simple derivation. Listen with all concentration. Now, you know what is a capacitor? Capacitor contains 2 identical metal plates, separated by a small gap. Now see this one, we have got one metal plate here, Okay, so we will have another metal plate, identical metal plate. These two plates are separated by a small gap. Now we will name this as metal plate number 2 and this one as metal plate number 1. Metal plate number 1. Okay, so let this have positive charges. Let the metal plate 1, conductor 1 have positive charges, and the conductor 2 have the negative charges. The conductor 2 have the negative charges. The conductor 2 have negative charges. Let the area of this plate be A. Area of both the plates will be the same because the two conductors are identical. A is the area. Now very importantly, see that this represents the surface charge density, surface charge density plus sigma, and this one surface charge density minus sigma, surface charge density, surface charge density minus sigma. Okay, now you have to listen carefully, very clearly, and the distance between the two plates of the capacitor is, say, D. D is the gap or the distance between the two plates of the capacitor. Now see that in the region, now I will call this region as region number 1, this region as region number 2, and this region as region number 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, say region number 1. The electric field due to the positive plate of the capacitor, that electric field will be in this direction, and that electric field is, say, E1. E1, the electric field is E1. And the electric field in the region 1 due to the negative plate is, say, E2. E2. So in the region 1, we have got E1. What is E1? Electric field due to the positive plate of the capacitor, and E1 is equal to sigma divided by 2 epsilon naught upwards. This is in the region 1, and E2 is equal to sigma divided by 2 epsilon naught. This is the electric field in the region 1 due to the negative plate. Please remember, due to the negative plate, and that is downwards. Downwards. Therefore, the total electric field E total in the region 1 is equal to 0. E total in the region 1 is equal to 0 because the electric field in the region 1 due to the positive plate and due to the negative plate both are equal and opposite, and therefore the total electric field in the region 1 will be equal to 0. Similarly, we will come to the region 2. Region 2. In this region, the electric field due to the positive plate is in this direction. Due to the positive plate, see, this is, say, again E1. So what is E1 here? E1 is the electric field in the region 2 due to the positive plate, and similarly E2, this is E2. E2 is the electric field in the region 2 due to the negative plate. E1 positive charge away, E2 the electric field towards. So again E1 is equal to sigma divided by 2 epsilon naught downwards. E2, which is equal to sigma divided by 2 epsilon naught upwards. So therefore the electric field E total in the region 2 is again equal to 0, that is equal to 0 in the region 2. Now coming to this region 3. Region 3. Get back to this diagram. See here, positive charge, the electric field due to the positive charge is downwards. You call that as E1. And the electric field due to the negative charge is E2. So now you should understand, E1 is away from the positive charge, E2 is towards the negative charge. Both E1 and E2 are in the same direction. Both E1 and E2 are in the same direction in the region 3. In the region 3, notice this, in the region 3, E1 is equal to sigma divided by 2 epsilon naught, that is downwards. E2 is equal to sigma divided by 2 epsilon naught, that is also downwards, and therefore E, the electric field in the region 3, is equal to, both are downwards, therefore they get added up. So E sigma divided by 2 epsilon naught plus sigma divided by 2 epsilon naught, that becomes sigma divided by epsilon naught. So remember, very simple dear students. I'll come to this diagram. Now take the plates here, the two plates, identical plates. In the region outside the plates, that is 1 and 2, the electric field intensity is 0. There is electric field present only in between the two plates of the capacitor. In the region 1 and 2, remember 1 and 2, the electric fields are equal and opposite in the region 1 and 2. Here in the region 3, which is in between, the electric fields are equal and in the same direction. So because they are in the same direction, they get added up, and therefore E is equal to sigma by 2 epsilon naught plus E is equal to sigma by 2 epsilon naught becomes E, the total electric field in between the plates of the capacitor is E is equal to sigma by epsilon naught. Is that clear for you? Yes, I believe it is clear for you. Now after knowing this sigma, notice this one, E is equal to sigma. What is sigma? You know that sigma is charge divided by area. So E is equal to sigma is charge divided by area, Q divided by A epsilon naught. E is equal to Q by A epsilon naught. You call this as equation 1. E. Now coming to this point, E is also equal to, you know this, E is also equal to V divided by D. dV by dx, if you remember, dV represents the potential difference, dx represents the distance. Here V is the potential difference. V is the potential difference between the two plates, D is the distance between the two plates. Therefore E is equal to V by D. Negative sign we have just neglected here. So E is equal to V by D. Now this is equation number 2. Compare 1 and 2. If you compare 1 and 2, you will get V divided by D is equal to Q divided by A epsilon naught, or Q by V. This implies Q divided by V is equal to epsilon naught A divided by D. What is Q by V? Capacity. Therefore capacity is equal to epsilon naught A divided by D. This is the equation for the capacitance of a parallel plate capacitor. This is the equation for the capacitance of a parallel plate capacitor. So simple. Please listen. What is a capacitor? A capacitor is a device which has got two identical metal plates separated by a small gap. One of them is positively charged and the other one is grounded. Here say you can ground this one. You can ground the second capacitor. This is grounded. Okay. So the other one is grounded. What is the equation for the capacitance of a parallel plate capacitor? Very simple. It is C is equal to epsilon naught A divided by D. and therefore the capacitance of a parallel plate capacitor depends on the area of the capacitor, that means size and shape of the capacitor. It also depends on the gap, distance between the two plates of the capacitor. In the next derivation we will learn also that it also depends on the dielectric medium placed in between the two plates of the capacitor. Very simple derivation. Just students, I'll tell you one thing. Remember the diagram and its explanation. Very simple. It contains, consider two identical metal plates of area A, each of area A separated by a small gap D, and let plus sigma be the surface charge density on one plate and minus sigma be the surface charge other plate on the other plate. So now we have got three regions, region 1, region 2 and region 3. In the region 1 and 2, the electric field, total electric field intensity is 0, because the electric field due to positive plate and the negative plate are equal and opposite, they cancel each other. Whereas in the middle region of the capacitor, both the electric fields are in the same direction, therefore the net electric field is equal to sigma by epsilon naught here. The net electric field is equal to sigma by epsilon naught. Sigma is what? Charge by area. Therefore, A epsilon naught, that is equation 1. E is equal to V by D. We know that relation between electric field intensity and potential. So, E is equal to V by D. dV by dx, if you remember, potential gradient is equal to V by D, or V by D is equal to, comparing 1 and 2, you get V by D is equal to Q by A epsilon naught, which is equal to Q by V is equal to epsilon naught A by D. Q by V is nothing but capacitance, and C is equal to epsilon naught A divided by D. So, C is equal to epsilon naught A divided by D. Very, very important thing. C is also equal to Q by V, C is equal to epsilon naught A by D. While defining the capacitance, we use C is equal to Q by V, and if you want to know what are the factors on which the capacity depends, you have to go with this equation. C is equal to epsilon naught A by D. C is equal to Q by V, C is equal to epsilon naught A by D. Hope the things are clear, and still one more thing is left out, and that is this one. Okay. So the next one is this expression for capacitance of a parallel plate capacitor with a dielectric medium. So simple, with a dielectric medium, and it goes again with the same kind of explanation. Little bit slight difference is there, and the difference I will tell you. Now again we have to consider what? We have to consider a positively charged metal plate. Say this is a conductor. This is a conductor. One conductor, one metal plate. This is one metal plate, and this is another metal plate. This is another metal plate. So this is the metal plate 1 and 2, and see that the metal plate 1 will have positive charges, and the metal plate 2 will have the negative charges. The metal plate will have the negative charges, and the two plates are separated by a distance D, same thing, D. So, and notice that area is A, area of each plate is A. This is plus sigma, and this one is minus sigma. This is plus sigma and minus sigma. Now electric field intensity in this region E, the net electric field E net is equal to 0. Electric field intensity in this region E net will be equal to what? 0. But be careful here. Now notice that we are using the dielectric medium. Say here, entire gap between the two plates of the capacitor, entire gap from this to this, it is filled with a dielectric medium of dielectric constant K or epsilon R. So what is that you have to consider? Very simple. Listen again very clearly. We have got two identical metal plates separated by a small gap. One of them is positively charged with surface charge density plus sigma, the other one is negatively charged with surface charge density minus sigma. Of course, this is also grounded. This is also grounded, and the net electric field intensity in the regions outside the metal plates is equal to 0. In between we will see what happens. Now the gap between the two plates, this gap is filled with dielectric material. The gap here is filled with dielectric material. Dielectric material of dielectric constant K, capital K. It is capital K or epsilon R. So listen now very clearly. Suppose air is present. Only when air or vacuum is present, what is the capacitance? Capacitance C is equal to Q divided by V. C is equal to what? Q divided by V. That is equal to what? Epsilon naught A divided by D. Let this be equation number 1. Let this be equation number 1. Now when you fill the dielectric material, so when you fill the dielectric material in between the two plates of the capacitor, we will see what happens. If the dielectric material is filled, now the electric field, so far electric field E is equal to, or E dash we will call, E dash is equal to sigma minus sigma by epsilon naught minus sigma due to dielectric material divided by epsilon naught. Remember this very clearly. Come back to this diagram. See that because of the dielectric material, say this is metal plate, this is another metal plate, here is positively charged, this is negatively charged. Now because of the dielectric material, say this is the dielectric material, this is the dielectric material. Because of the dielectric material, the negative charges will come here and the positive charges will come here. So what happens? There will be a reduction in the electric field intensity. Now earlier, if the electric field is sigma by epsilon naught, now the electric field will be equal to sigma by epsilon naught minus sigma d divided by epsilon naught, because the electric fields are opposing. Electric field between the two plates and electric field due to the induced dielectric material, electric field which is induced in the dielectric material, both are in the opposite direction. Remember, applied electric field and the induced electric field, or the electric field due to the capacitor plates and electric field due to the dielectric material, both are opposite. Therefore E is equal to sigma by epsilon naught minus sigma d by epsilon naught. What is sigma d? It is the surface charge density on the dielectric material, so it opposes. Sigma by epsilon naught, earlier we had only this much. Earlier we have only this much. Now we have got sigma by epsilon naught minus sigma d by epsilon naught, which is this equal to sigma minus sigma d divided by epsilon naught. Sigma minus sigma d divided by epsilon naught. You just remember this. This as equation number 1. This is electric field. Now potential V dash. So what is V dash is equal to? V dash is equal to E dash into D. E dash into D. So V dash is equal to E dash is sigma minus sigma d divided by epsilon naught into D. So this is equation number 2. This is equation number 2. Okay. Now suppose if you remember the definition of dielectric constant. What is dielectric constant? You tell. Dielectric constant, if you remember, epsilon r is the dielectric constant, that also can be written as K. Epsilon r or K is equal to, if you remember, it is equal to epsilon divided by epsilon naught. That is also equal to force in air divided by force in the medium. Force in air divided by force in the medium. Force is proportional to electric field. F is equal to Q into E. F is equal to Q into E. Force is proportional to electric field. Therefore, electric field in air divided by electric field in the medium. What is electric field in air? Only sigma by epsilon naught. What is electric field in the medium? That is E dash. That is sigma minus sigma D by epsilon naught. This epsilon naught and epsilon naught goes. What remains only is sigma divided by sigma minus sigma D. Sigma. So that is K. So therefore K is equal to sigma divided by sigma minus sigma D. K is equal to sigma minus sigma D, or sigma by sigma, or sigma minus sigma D is equal to sigma divided by K. You just see this equation. Okay. Now look at the equation number 2 here. Equation number 2 here. So what is V dash now? V dash is equal to sigma minus sigma D. In the place of sigma minus sigma D, you can write sigma by K. So therefore sigma divided by K epsilon naught into D. Sigma by V dash is equal to this much. V dash is equal to sigma minus sigma by epsilon naught, sigma by K into epsilon naught into. What is sigma? Sigma is charge divided by area. So K I will write, epsilon naught I will write into D. So V dash. What is capacitance? You tell. Capacitance C dash, new capacitance. C dash is the new capacitance when the dielectric medium is filled. That is equal to Q divided by V dash. Why I have written Q only? Because the charge before the dielectric material is introduced and charge after the dielectric material is introduced remains same. Charge will not get altered. Come here. See that plus 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 plus, minus minus minus. After the introduction of the dielectric medium also the charge on the plates A and B will remain the same. Charge will not alter. Therefore I have taken Q only. What alters is only the potential. What alters is only the electric field. Electric field changes, therefore potential changes, but the charge on both the plates of the capacitor remains same. So C dash is equal to Q divided by V dash. From this equation again, Q divided by V dash. Now just check Q divided by V dash. V dash is equal to, I will write again here. Check that. V dash is equal to Q D divided by epsilon naught A into K. Q by V dash, if you write Q by V dash, you will get epsilon naught A divided by D, that is equal to epsilon naught A divided by D into K. So C dash is equal to, what is epsilon naught A by D? This one, epsilon naught A by D, equation 1 if you observe, epsilon naught A by D is C into K. So C dash is equal to Ck. This is the equation I will write here. C dash is equal to epsilon naught K A divided by D, or you can also write C dash is equal to epsilon naught epsilon R A divided by D, because epsilon R and K both are same. This is the expression for the potential, the capacitance of a parallel plate capacitor in the presence of dielectric medium. See that C is equal to epsilon naught A by D in the absence of the dielectric medium. C is equal to epsilon naught K A by D in the presence of the dielectric medium. So these are the things. So dear students, now I hope we have learnt everything today. Now just come back to the point. Okay, capacitance of a conductor, you know that as you increase the charge, the potential increases, and therefore capacitance of a conductor C is equal to Q divided by V. Capacitance of a spherical conductor C is equal to 4 pi epsilon naught R. You know that. So what are the factors on which the capacitance of a spherical conductor depends? All those things. Principle of a capacitor, you know that two conductors are required separated by a small gap. That is the principle of a capacitor. Expression for capacitance of a parallel plate capacitor, just C is equal to epsilon naught A divided by D. Expression for capacitance of a parallel plate capacitor with dielectric medium, C dash is equal to epsilon naught A divided by D into K. In the place of K, capital K, you can also write epsilon R. That's it. So these are the 4-5 things we have learned today, and we will end the session now. I thank all of you for watching, and just feed me back how the lessons are going on. Just feed me back. Okay, bye.